Friends, how are you all? Hope you are doing great at various aspects of your respective lives. These days, we see a lot of historical fictions hitting the book market. Not all of them are worth reading, and not all of them shall be ignored as well. Some authors do remarkable amount of research work to make the book look more realistic than the fiction, and some rely on their imagination to make the book more interesting. Recently, we came across a book named Chronicles of Lost Empire Secrets of Nalanda by Mala Mukherjee, which has its own flavor in historical fiction genre. It is worth to mention that the book was available for free when we bought it. Let us take a look at the cover page of the book. As you can see, the cover page has dark background and some remains of an ancient monument are shown in the front. It tries to create an impression of the remains of Nalanda, one of the ancient yet historically connectable universities in the world. A hooded figure is also shown. While the cover page tries to create a good impression, it remains just good. It could have been a lot better. A lot of details in the cover has been inspired from the Greek sculptures, monuments and history. Overall, a moderately good cover page. Let us take a bird's eye view of the book plot. Actually, there are various plots running in parallel and eventually they connect each other. Let us focus on the most important course of events. There was a time when Nalanda, one of the finest universities across the globe, was still enjoying its good time. Though the glories are not at their peak, they haven't declined altogether also. Despite falling under the ruling area of Patliputra, it is an autonomous area in its own. The acharyas of this educational institution can make their own decisions without being worried about the influence of the king. The things, however, are never meant to exist in the same way throughout. There comes a time when the situation at the capital got its own dose of tension and eventually Prakashaditya, the worthy prince of the kingdom, rather than claiming the throne, decides to leave everything and dedicate himself to the life of a learner. His intention was to retire from all political and social responsibilities and learn the lessons of life and beyond from Nalanda. One day, he renounced everything and left the kingdom on his horse, who is more than just a loyal friend. The horse had an interesting name, Gatiman, means the speedy one. The emotional bond between Prakash and Gatiman is something you can consider as the true example of friendship. By the way, Prakash is always Gatiman, means light is the speediest element we know. Prakash was holding a message for an acharya at the Gurukul. However, before he could reach to his destination around Ondontopura, he witnessed a brutal incident. He saw the protectors of a small caravan or caravan by a wealthy sheriff was treating the commoners quite improperly. Soon the situation started getting tense and Prakash could not keep himself away from the incident and remain a mute spectator. He intervened and the things took an unexpected turn. In order to save a poor child, Prakash engaged in a fight and a prominent figure was killed. While Prakash didn't kill him, ultimately he was considered as the suspect by the local authorities who came to the picture later on without knowing his identity. Urja, the hot-headed girl, was firm on her claim about Prakash's actions. There is a bigger conspiracy running on, and Prakash was caught into the web of events unwillingly. And that's not all. In the land far away, various invaders are trying to strengthen their armed forces to attack Bharat. They are making all political, civil, and forceful attempts to collaborate with their friends in a way that they can create a grand alliance which can beat the armies of Patliputra. This time, they have already planted their spies at various important places to get the latest and up to date key information. What are they planning? How the things move ahead in the kingdom? Is Prakashaditya a genuine prince? Is there anything else in his mind when he withdrew the claim to the throne? Will Chandraditya do something fishy? Who is Buddhaditya and what is actually planning at Bodh Gaya? Who is Buddhaditya and what is actually happening at Bodh Gaya? You can get the answers to all these questions when you read this thriller. Author Mala Mukherjee believes in the motto, where history remains silent, fantasy finds its place. Actually, she herself has mentioned it in the preface of the book. Following it, she came up with this book. I found the book remaining true to its genre. Mala seems to be a nature and animal lover. The way she has explored the bond between Gatiman and Prakash is really remarkable. While there are many instances where we see that the horse is expressing his feelings for his friend, I cannot mention them here in order to avoid the spoilers. However, I can say that there are instances where Gatiman doesn't want to leave Prakash, and there are instances when he comes back to him. And our history is full of such incidents. For example, remember Maharana Pratap and you will remember his horse Chetak. Remember Rani Lakshmi Bai, the Queen of Jhansi. The list can be ever growing. Even Steven Spielberg has dedicated a movie, War Horse, to such friendship. The way the nature is explored in the book is also worth a mention. Be it a temple located at the top of a hill, or caves and tunnels, or even the jungle and hideouts of various characters, you see remarkable explanations are given. Though this entire book is set up in the backdrop of a set of conspiracies going on, frequently executed attacks and small battles, and yes, a full-fledged war is also waiting. The book talks about love and peace also. That is the beauty of polity literature. While most of the people consider Mahabharata a story of a war, it is not. It is much more than that. Anyway, let us stick to this book only. Here is a block of text from the book that reflects the same emotions. That is the charisma of peace, my son. Whatever you cannot achieve through power, you can easily achieve by love. And it is not the only instance. Here is another line. Nothing can be solved permanently on the battlefield. Mala penned down some philosophical lines in the book which utters the wisdom. My son, kings come and die. Kingdom wither away. People do not remember them, only remember those who bring change. It is the rule of time. One king will die and another will come. One empire will fall and another will succeed. Only the worth will win. If you fail in the battle, ask yourself, why did you fail? It is not always the weapons that give us victory, but our inner strength makes us winners. Such things have timelessness in the lesson they convey. If you consider the present day scenario anywhere in the world, you will find the substance in the below mentioned lines. Protest was not for poor, but for rich. He should learn that already. Here is another interesting line which can give hope in the darker times and at the same time suggest one to not let the success took over the emotions. Good or bad, everything has to end one day. I like the way the author has talked about the cleanliness. She, rather than lecturing on how important it is to keep our surroundings clean, explored it pretty effectively. It was the custom of Nalanda to salute those who are sweating to keep it clean. When going to a specific place, one of the most respected Acharya of Nalanda stops to acknowledge the work of cleaners and paid them respect. Can we imagine that in today's time? Well, if we don't, then how can we claim that we understand the importance of cleanliness? I remember that in one of his speeches, current Prime Minister of India told that in the morning when the street cleaner comes to clean our street, we refer to him as Kachra Wala. But just remember that he is Kachra Saaf Karne Wala. Those who spread dirt on the road should be called Kachra Wala, not the one who is cleaning it. But in the agenda to see political stuff in everything, we often miss such important stuff. Of course, it was the time when teacher was respected a lot. As it is referred in the famous Hindi TV serial Chanakya, शिक्षक कभी साधारण नहीं होता, प्रलय और निर्माण उसकी गोद में पलते हैं. Mala refers the same thing here in quite simple words. A teacher is not bound to serve the king. The teachers of Nalanda used to be the persons with the strong characters. They usually kept living a simple life and even refused to have a servant or maid as far as possible. And they were fearless and had courage to stand against anything they found wrong. And author has explored it in the book very effectively. Here are some punchlines from the book. If your intentions are genuine, destination finds you, my son. Disobedience is the result of dissatisfaction. There is no ultimate truth, my son. All truths are tentative. The author is also good at descriptions, like some of them were too skinny to project their bones. So, by now you must have got an idea about what to expect from the book in terms of literary qualities. There are so many characters in the book, like Prakashaditya, Urja, Chandraditya, Acharya Buddhaditya, Sambhudev, Gatiman, Padmanabh, Garima, and many more. You require to pay attention while reading this book. If you are looking for a light read, it is not that. Also, if you read the book in installments, it is possible to lose track of some happenings. While the references of Bodh Gaya, Takshashila, Sankhya Lipi, etc. connects you to the past, there are some words like krosh. Actually, I personally feel that it should be kosh, a unit of distance measurement, where you may expect better words. Use of footnotes and a detailed glossary could have made this book even better. I will suggest you to not to skip reading the preface and prologue. So, what is the conclusion? Well, a little lengthy and complicated book that requires the reader's attention to it. It remains true to its genre, provides you the thrills expected, and good at literary qualities. It is a genuine attempt to pen a worthy historical fiction that you will love to read. Thinkerview's rating around 7 to 7.5 stars out of 10. So, have you already read the book? Are you planning to read it? What do you think about this book review? Do you find it helpful in deciding whether to go for the book or not? Please do share your genuine remarks via comments below. If you have enjoyed listening to the review, please hit the like button And do not forget to share it with your friends and other fellows whom you think such reviews interest more. Till we meet with our next podcast, bye bye, take care, namaskar.